It's time for another book review. Today's book of the day, The Healthy Vegetarian by Swami Satchidananda. This is honestly a great book. I would recommend this to anybody who, like me, is considering the benefits of switching to a vegetarian diet. And I would say that this book was pretty persuasive. Even if you're not, if you're kind of on the fence like me, it's definitely good to see both sides, both perspectives of eating meat or not eating meat. And I have reviewed a couple of books by Swami Satchidananda before. Definitely one of my favorite authors. But if you don't know who he is, there's a little bio on the back that I'll read quickly just to describe who this man is. That's all I could say, this master. He is a beautiful example of dynamic health. He is a lifelong vegetarian and a world-renowned spiritual teacher and ecumenical leader. Now in his 70s, he continues to travel around the globe in response to invitations from individuals, groups, and organizations of all backgrounds and beliefs. Everywhere he goes, audiences are in awe not only of his spiritual wisdom, but of the radiant health and physical stamina that have enabled him to serve in this way for the past 40 years. Knowing that he is an established yoga master, people often ask him if he is a vegetarian. His answer is naturally. I mean, he's just a funny guy. He's just an all-around, he's a yoga master. What else can I say? A lot of the claims he makes in this book, I have to say, I was a bit skeptical at first, and I'll name some of them in a second, but I'm just going to read kind of the little description of the book on the back. So it says, in addition to proof of the positive effects of a clean, wholesome vegetarian diet on our bodies, minds, and lives, the Healthy Vegetarian discusses how to eat for maximum health and vitality. Both new and established vegetarians will benefit from information on when to eat, when to fast, the properties of food, compulsive eating, and diet and healing. And so I'm just going to go into some of the claims that kind of stood out to me that I'm kind of just going to walk through in my mind. One of the things that he said that I was very skeptical at first, but now I kind of believe to be true, is he said that if you eat a clean vegetarian diet, no meat, then your sweat won't smell bad. It might actually smell like really good, like fragrance. And I thought that was complete BS, but the more that I think about it, kind of the only bad things in your body that you put in is meat. So I guess that kind of makes sense. I just noticed for me, I've only really been eating chicken now. I stopped eating like red meat mostly, and I've noticed that that's had a difference, but I think that I could go without meat. And this book also, it has in the back, it has a list of some basic ingredients, some grains, brown rice, millet, couscous, whole wheat, lentils, some tofu, things, and then it also has like a meal plan and a recipe. It's kind of like a recipe book in the back also, that it has some simple dishes and ingredients to make for breakfast, lunch, dinner. One of the other things that really surprised me about this book that was perspective changing is how much we eat. In America, we overeat 100%, but one of the things that he says is that, I don't want to paraphrase it wrong, but he's basically saying that people should really only be eating once a day. And that obviously sounds absurd. In America, we kind of have the popular 3-meal-a-day diet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I only eat 2 times a day. 2 meals. I think that's fine enough. I honestly thought that I didn't eat enough, but now I think that I still eat too much. That's besides the point. But in America, we absolutely eat too much. And another thing that he said, he wrote a little bit about fasting, and I wanted to know his perspective on fasting, because that's definitely kind of like a spiritual thing, or it has the stigma of being a spiritual thing. And it's very interesting that he said that the best way to get over like a sickness or a slight illness is to not eat. And that's kind of, again, contrary to popular wisdom. But then again, I guess a lot of popular wisdom is wrong, because the more I think about it, the more that's probably right. That your body's wasting energy digesting food that you put into your body that it could then be using to help heal your body. So that's one thing that I could maybe verify as being true. And again, I would just say that even if you don't agree, I might not have agreed with everything in the book, it's definitely interesting to get this type of perspective from such a wise man, wise yoga master, the guy who brought yoga to the West. So I think it's worth the read, worth the $8 or $9 buy. I think I got it $8 or $9. It's definitely worth it. I'm probably going to try out some of the recipes in this book and try to start eating vegetarian. I think that I'm kind of ready for it. And again, this is also mentioned in the book, but you don't become a vegetarian so you can think that you're better than other people, so you can feed your ego. Do it because it's something that you want to do. And I would never think that, like, you're not better than anybody because you're a vegetarian. You're not better than anybody because you're a vegan. You're just living your lifestyle. You're just trying to live your best life. You're trying to be a healthy vegetarian. And that's the title of the book. And yeah, if you want to check out this book, let me know what you think about it. I'll let you know how my vegetarian journey goes.